Hey everybody, and welcome to Let's Look at Dust: An Elysian Tale. I'll get that screen out of there so you can actually see the title. So this is this week's, the ultimate, actually, release of the Xbox Live Summer of Arcade. This is the last release, the 5th release, and probably the best release, at least out of the ones that I have played. So this is, to put it very simply, this is a 2D side-scrolling action RPG slash platformer, basically. There's a lot of focus on combat. It kind of feels almost like a side-scrolling beat-em-up, but there's a little bit more to it than that. It has RPG elements included as well. So without further ado, let's get started here and actually show you what this game is about. I should point out, by the way, you might notice the Korean text up there at the top. A little bit of Hangul there. That is, I apologize already for butchering the pronunciation here, but that is Munji. And I've been told that that does mean dust. And there's a huge kind of Korean influence running throughout this game. Not necessarily an influence from Korean culture, but there's a lot of Korean food. And also, the game reminds me a hell of a lot of Dungeon Fighter, which, might be seen as a positive or a negative. So you can see this is my most recent save. I've actually played through this area before, but again, I'm a total idiot and completely deleted my autosave. But as you can see, about an hour in, 16%. So we're looking at maybe, 6.5 hour long game here, perhaps. In any case, we will see. Oh, hey! Don't try anything funny. So we are playing as Dust here. I might have to kill this dude before we can move on. Yeah, so we're playing as this character here called Dust. He is essentially an anthropomorphic squirrel, and he's hanging out here with his friend slash kind of like bratty little sister character archetype. This is Fidget. So basically, what we're going to do here, as you can see on our map, is we can move from left to right. It's almost, you could kind of classify this as like a pseudo-Metroidvania game. So there's a little bit of like branching paths, and a little bit of, gated areas that you can't get to until you unlock a certain item or a certain ability. But in any case, I can show you our basic abilities right here. Pretty much, we can use X and Y to alternate between light and heavy attacks. We can also press B to use Fidget here to fire some projectiles. And by using B and Y in conjunction with one another, we can create this thing called the Dust Storm that you can see right there, which actually becomes probably our most valuable piece of combat, as you will see as we move forward. So basically, we're just fighting some enemy types here. I'm not going to talk too much about the story just yet, but the mission that we are on does have some story details that will require me to talk about it. So we're fighting against the most asshole-ish enemy that I've come across so far in the game. Basically, these dudes require a whole new style of tactic. He's dead now. But what we try to do for those guys, instead of just mashing the attack buttons, which is what I've been doing for the other guys, or using the Dust Storm, what we want to do for those guys is actually hit them at the exact time they hit us to do kind of like a Dark Souls style parry that leaves them vulnerable to a very high damage attack from us. So we're just alternating between X and Y here, or just smashing X depending on how you feel about this. Let's see if I can demonstrate the parry there. Totally missed that. We're actually gonna have to eat something here. Let's eat a delicious, mysterious wall chicken that we found in the wall recently. Oh, totally botched that one again. How about this one? There we go, managed to get one parry off there so we can kill that guy much more easily, and I'll probably eat something else as well. Let's eat a couple of these Luetta nuts, or Luta nuts. Yeah, this game is actually kind of difficult. I've had to go through a lot of consumables. Normally when I play like an RPG like this, or an action game like this, I try to keep my health at 100% all the time. I'm a little bit, not to belittle people who actually suffer from legitimate OCD, but I have a little bit of a, I don't know, it feels better to me. It just feels right if I'm at full HP. So I've used consumables maybe inefficiently. In this game, I have not been able to do that, because otherwise you just get too few consumables and I use them too often. But I should point out, there's also certain combos that you can do in the combat of Dust here. So one thing we can do is, oh, I hate these guys. Let's just use some Dust Storm to take these guys out before they become too much of a problem. So as you can see with the Dust Storm, the more... what was I going to say? The more enemies there are on the screen, it actually homes in on them. So we can take out enemies very, very quickly. But, you might be saying, why? Oh, god damn it. I think I silenced. Yes, okay. Fidget got silenced there. That means I can't do the Dust Storm for a while. Whatever. By the way, there is voice acting here, in case you didn't notice. So those guys have like an electric attack that also silences. But the silence won't last forever. Let's get to some enemies that I can actually demonstrate some combos on. Okay, here. So by using like X and Y, like first hitting X, then hitting Y, we can perform a launcher here and then send people up in the air and hit them. I think if we come across one more enemy, I will be able to show off another combo that we can do, which is XXY. Which actually, oh, I held Y a little bit too long. XXXY. No, XXY. Okay, there we go. That was a little bit different. But anyway, anytime you defeat an enemy, they give you both experience and currency, and sometimes a consumable item or some kind of crafting item. In addition to that, you might have noticed the combo meter, which appears on the top right side here. Ideally, we want to get the largest combo that we possibly can, and the Dust Storm helps us out a great deal in this, because obviously it keeps our combo going in times when it would otherwise be impossible. And the combo, I mean, the higher the combo gets, the more experience you get as a result. So this is definitely useful when it comes to actually like making your progression in the game as efficient as possible. So we're just going to take this dude out. Worth noting, if you get hit once by any enemy, your combo will stop. So you really have to be careful about enemies that are, you know, coming from either side of you when you're doing a Dust Storm or something, because if you don't pay attention to them, then you will find yourself losing. Oh, come on. Losing out on some... Okay, I gotta focus on this for a second. I gotta parry this dude. There we go. Okay, managed to get it on the first one. And apparently these guys are back, but we'll just take care of them fairly easily. You can also do an aerial Dust Storm. Now, we have this bomb here. Looks like an eggplant a little bit, but if we cause the Dust Storm to make it spin into this, we won't take damage from that, by the way. We'll pick up a mysterious wall chicken, which is good, because Lord knows I need the consumables. And we also picked up a transceiver, I believe. Let's just let them talk so you can actually get a feel for the voice acting.
Where are you calling from?
From beyond the grave.
Demon blacksmith! That's the worst kind of blacksmith!
Would you calm down? I'm at home with Maddie. I see you found my dad's lost receiver.
Yeah, and it seems to be working.
That's great. Now, if you ever need to craft an item, you can do it directly from your inventory. Now, Dots, this doesn't mean I don't want you coming up to visit me in person. But at least I can keep an eye on you and help you out whenever you need me.
Sure, Haley.
Alright, so basically that was just a character that we came across earlier. Let's just check out our quest log here. So you can see that this has been completed, but we have this one, I think. Oh, we just go to uncompleted here. Yeah, active quests. I think we're going to Dust right now. What we're trying to do, basically to set the backdrop for the story so far, we are Dust, that anthropomorphic squirrel, and we woke up in the forest with amnesia. I know, totally original premise, with this sword calling to us and being like, you are the chosen one, I've chosen you to fulfill our destiny, yada yada. And then all of a sudden, oh no, we're getting attacked by monsters from every which way. So we came across this kind of hub town, at least the first world, where we can, you know, meet characters that are not hostile to us. And the mayor was like, hey, can you go, like, kill all of these monsters, please? Like, kill the leader for us? So that is pretty much what we are up to right now. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. Whether I'm a cynical bastard or the internet has ruined me, to me it seems like there is certain kind of, shall we say, species-on-species love going on in this game. Now, I'm not trying to judge... Oh, fuck, man. I am possibly gonna die here. Let's eat some cinnamon buns. I'm not trying to judge anybody's fetishes or something like that, and it could possibly... I remember being a kid. You know, you could watch something like The Secret of Nim. Come on. Just parry it. I'm just gonna shut up. Think you can fucking run away from me, asshole? God damn it! Why are these guys such a pain in the ass? Let's just use Dust Storm to kill him. Alright, so that cost us, like, all of our consumables, which is pretty shitty. But yeah, there does seem to be a little bit of, like, squirrel on squirrel love, and I mean... Again, I think it's just a product of me spending too much time on the internet that I sort of feel like, ooh, with respect to that, but I'm not sure if that was deliberate on the part of the developers. Now these guys, we have to parry those assholes as well. This should be fun. Come on. You might think I'm just garbage at this game. You might be right, but it's, I assure you, more difficult than it looks. This game is surprisingly difficult. I've died a couple of times already in only my, you know, hour and a half of play so far, probably. But in spite of all the reservations I might be levying against Dust so far, I really think this is genuinely a good game, and it's actually pretty remarkable. I mean, the circumstances surrounding Dust are almost as cool as the game itself. Like, this is a game that, as far as I understand it, was basically made by one dude over the course of 3 years. And as I understand it, he worked as like an animator or something before. But he was like, I want to make this game. I have no idea how to program. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start making this game, and over the course of development, I will figure out everything I need to know. So, you know, he did the art. I think he did the art anyway. I know he outsourced a couple of things. He outsourced the voice acting. Obviously, that is not just him doing his best, like, girl voice for that lady blacksmith we came across. But anyway, I'll talk about what I was going to talk about in a second. But it's pretty remarkable that this is pretty much the product of just one dude's imagination and hard work, and kudos to that. And like I said, this is almost inarguably, I would say, the best game of the Xbox Live Arcade Summer of Arcades. So, you know, kudos to him for beating out some quality studios in their own right. What I was going to say, though, is there is a crafting system in the game as well. So if we go into our inventory here, you can see that I have these blueprints. Now with these blueprints, if we view it right now, you can see I need 8 out of 10 scrap metal. So there is kind of like a, I'm not going to say Minecraft necessarily, but there is a system in the game where you find these recipes and you use the recipes to create items that will make you better and better. And you can also buy these crafting items from the shop. And mostly when I've found blueprints, or when I've gotten blueprints, it's been from finding them, not from buying them. But I don't know if that is consistent with the rest of the game. So we're just going to take out these hordes of monsters. Pretty much, I wanted to point out right now, if you've never seen Dungeon Fighter before, go take a look at a screenshot, because I think it is pretty goddamn clear that this game took a lot of influence from it. Right down to like the map screen and, of course, the enemy designs as well. So we're just going to use some Dust Storm here. I don't know if I mentioned this, but if you hold on to the Dust Storm too long, it will actually hurt you. So you can't just, oh, fuck these dudes, man. So you can't just stay in the Dust Storm like, oh, goddamn, ad infinitum. There we go. Okay, managed to get that done. Had to stay silent for a second there, which was probably a welcome relief for some of you. And I think I picked up a few more consumables. Not really that many, though. So let's just get ourselves back to nearly full health. And we have a shop, actually. This is great.
Hello again, my friend. I suspected you would return.
So the way that these shops work is they sell us consumable items. And again, I'd like to point out the Korean influence. There's like chaldulbagi here. Again, apologize for my butchering of the pronunciation there. But we'll buy a few of these because I need that nourishment. There's also kimbap that you can get a little bit later, but I am actually going to buy some scrap metal. And we'll buy 2 of these, which should be enough to make that item that I had in my inventory back here. Let's go to our inventory. Was it? Yes, it was for this chainmail vest, I think. No, it wasn't. What was that for? Was that? Oh, it was for an augment. Here. Yes, we can make this. And then we should be able to go to our inventory screen and equip our augment. Yes. So our current augment gives us +6 attack. This one gives us +50 and also does 20% extra damage for fidget. So that's pretty fucking awesome. And additionally, what was the... Let's go back to our inventory here. There was one item I needed. I need 1 scrap metal and 1 of the glowing things here. Let's see if we have that in the shop. We may not, but we will see. And then I'll explain how the shops actually work with respect to crafting materials. So we needed 1 scrap metal and 1 glowing thing, which I don't think was cotton, but we'll check. I mean, this seems silly. It's cheap, though.
Your transaction. Thank you.
Okay, let's go back to our inventory here. Floor and spark. Okay, we actually do not have that. We might have to buy that from a blacksmith or something. But in any case, the way the materials work in this game, or shops work in this game, and crafting materials, I should say, is that there's... Oh, keys, useful. I'll talk about those later, too. I think you can probably figure out what those do, though. But, yes, the way that that stuff works is pretty much... Save point. Oh, God. You'll come across crafting materials just randomly in the wild, but shops will not necessarily stock crafting materials. So what you have to do is kind of neat. It's kind of a cool system. You have to, like, pick up a new crafting material in the wild, or, you know, in vivo, and then... We have bombs here as well. Give that crafting material to a shopkeeper, and then from now on, every shop in the game will actually restock that crafting material. So we're just going to use these bombs to help us get some sick combos here. But yes, but so it's sort of neat. Like, ooh, secret area perhaps. I don't know. I've never noticed this section before. By the way, this is just like the aerial dust storm that we're doing right here, and thankfully there's no fall damage. But yeah, so it's kind of neat. Like, you might come across something. Let's say we came across, like, platinum in the wild or something. Then we realize we need 2 platinums to fulfill our requirement for this 1 blueprint. But we can't do anything about that unless we go to a shopkeeper and then sell him our existing platinum. And then he'll be like, oh, cool, I know what this is now. And then every stock in the game will then restock that from now on. So it's kind of a neat system. I'm not sure if it's been done before, but it is kind of cool. So we're just going to use these bombs pretty much religiously because they help us take out these enemies very, very easily. And actually, this is a weird puzzle that I didn't understand the first time I did it. You actually have to take a bomb with you through screens. And I mean, coming from, you know, playing games like this on the Super Nintendo where the memory probably wouldn't be able to handle that necessarily, this kind of surprised me. But it worked. So I should set the stage for this mission. I mean, I already explained what was going on, but we are getting very close to what will be perhaps the boss fight of this mission, shall we say. I mean, there's no shall we say involved. This actually is a boss fight, so... You will see that, and then we'll probably call it quits with respect to this video, because I don't want to show off too much. We'll blow up this thing, and we got a mysterious wall chicken, which is good, because I could really use some extra health right now. Inventory, please. And we'll also talk about the leveling up system in a bit as well, because we are pretty close to leveling up. So I think what we have to do here is, you know, we saw that village on fire before. What we have to do is find some way to make the village not be on fire. So, you know, astute viewers might think, hey, is there some water around? There it is. Also picked up 2 mysterious wall chickens. Excellent for me. And we'll get some keys as well. Hopefully we'll come across some treasure chests, because I want to show off what those are all about. Oh, we can't actually get up here. Right. Okay, we're getting very, very close to the boss fight here, actually, which will be cool. I don't mind these guys. Come on. Let's get them all racked up in one corner here so I can get a sweet dust storm and rack up a combo and possibly level up before our boss fight. I think instead we're going to have to deal with this giant. There we go. I think that the thing with the parrying is that you have to do it a little bit earlier than you might otherwise expect, which is fine. I mean, parrying in Dark Souls took some time to get used to as well, but the timing window is very, very small. You have to be quite precise, at least on this difficulty. I don't know if there's an easy mode that changes it or something. Yeah, let's use a Dust Storm here. Recall that our Fidget is a little bit stronger as a result of that augment that we have on our weapon now, so we might as well, you know, be smart to use that. We got some junk. Let's pick up that junk. And move up. Now we can come up here. So you can see that flag. That flag is actually our destination marker. So that tells us where we should be going in order to reach the end of this quest. So we'll try to get a good parry here. That was a good critical hit. Lucky critical hit. Oh, man. God damn it. Okay. Give me some delicious Korean barbecue, please. Totally botched that one as well. Yeah, you know what? Let's eat a wall chicken. I hate this shit. I mean, we could just back off. And just like, god damn it, now I can't do my Dust Storm. You can see we got that shops restocked message at the bottom. That just means that now there are crafting materials back in the shop. So that silence should wear off pretty soon. Just get down here. Okay, now we can use our Dust Storm. And we can take these guys out without using the parry ability. But it is easier to do it using parrying for sure. Well, not easier necessarily, but oh my god damn it. Faster, to be sure. Hopefully we picked up some kind of consumable there. Oh, we leveled up. Okay, this is one of those games where leveling up does not actually give you full health, though. So that can be kind of a pain in the ass sometimes. So every time you level up, you get a skill gem, and you can use these gems to increase your max health, increase your attack, increase your defense, or increase the damage of your Fidget. We are going to increase our max health right now, but it's worth pointing out, I don't know if we can remove a gem here. We can't. But if there's kind of like a limiting reagent system where when we first started, we only had like 4 slots, so we couldn't upgrade, say, Fidget to level 5. The reason I upgraded Fidget so much, by the way, is because I abused the Dust Storm. But if you have anything that is empty, like has 0 gems in it, then you can't upgrade anything past 4. So I think if we had 2 points right now, if I put 1 in defense and 1 in max health, then we would be able to upgrade things to 6 at that point, if that makes any sense. But for now, even if it doesn't make sense, just deal with it. We're going to increase our health here, which will actually, you know, function as if it was giving us another consumable as well. We picked up a decent amount of health as a result of that. And I think this might be up to our boss fight, or at least getting very close. There's a shop, and at this shop, I think it's a good idea if we're coming up to the boss fight to buy a shit ton of consumables. Let's buy like 4 of these. That should be enough.
Your transaction.
And we'll move onwards here. At the very least, we're getting very close.
I really don't like the...
We've made it this far, Fidget. Stay close to me and you'll be fine. What do you see, Yara? Anything?
Another enemy stands before you. But this one...
What is it, Ara?
Such hatred. Be careful, Dust.
Alright, so we'll enter Denim Village here. Setting the stage for the boss fight. Apparently we cannot go this way. Drop down and go this way instead. Yes, this is where we get the boss fight here. So we're going to fight Frieza. I'll let them talk to set the stage.
So, you've come.
What have you done? You murdered all these innocent people.
You dare speak to me of innocence when you have so casually slain a countless number of my children.
Your children? You're talking about those monsters back there? Who are you?
So, you don't remember my name? Rest assured, my friend, This time, you will not so easily forget it.
Nice try. Oh, actually, I think we're getting started here. Maybe not.
I don't care what your name is. You're no different than those monsters I fought before. And like them, you will fall
Okay,
to my
so
blade.
1 second.
Are the only monster here, puppet. As I turn your bones to char, your final thought will be that Fuse was victorious. Now,
I mean, sometimes the writing can get a little bit melodramatic, as you can probably see. This boss fight is not overly difficult. You can see the boss's health meter down there at the bottom. What I primarily have done during this boss fight, at least the first time I did it, basically just get up in his face. Avoid, obviously, his fire shots there whenever possible. But mostly just, you know, pretend that you're doing an auto combo in Persona 4 Arena. Stay away from those columns of fire. That's usually good news as well. And then when he starts doing some crazy shit to you, just abuse the Dust Storm and it should be able to take him out very easy. He actually broke my chain, which is a shame because I think I was doing pretty goddamn great there for a while. And then just, of course, use consumables whenever necessary, but this is pretty easy. Remember, we were, like, very much in the early point of the game here. Wow, he is almost dead already. And then we'll get some kind of, like, I wouldn't necessarily call it a cutscene, but it's more story development after he dies here.
the lights of Elysium shine upon me. But can they reach the darkness within you? I have come to my end.
What are you?
Among the last of a dying breed, a once proud race, extinguished by your hands.
My hands?
Sorry, it's something in my throat there.
You and your warm-blooded kin, we Moonbloods were outcast, scattered to the wind. You and others like you, they came to my village, killed my family.
I didn't... I can't remember.
There is sadness in your eyes, but it is not guilt. It is loss. After all you've done to my kind, you still think only of yourself. Perhaps that is for the best. Your leader, Gaius, he led you and your fellow assassins into battle.
Assassins?
He even murdered his own kind, our greatest allies amongst the Warmbloods. But one escaped. She was the only one I would dare spare in the slaughter that was to come.
Oh, take your
What are
time.
you talking about? Who did I kill?
Who knows? Who sees? My vision has left me. I return now to the life thread and to my brethren.
No, wait!
Farewell, Warmblood. Ashes to ashes.
Dust.
Okay, so like I said, I appreciate the game's commitment to building his... I'm gonna skip by this, by the way. I appreciate the game's commitment
I'm sure you're
to
right.
developing what it considers to be a rich story here. Sometimes the dialogue, you know, I think you could safely accuse it of being a little bit heavy-handed. Basically, she's just telling us right now, we can do some different attacks. So if we do the Dust Storm with this fire attack now, we do that business right there, which is pretty cool. So we'll play until we get to a save point. Let's talk about my overall impressions of Dust so far. Okay, seriously. I get it, there's moral ambiguity. Dust might be a killer. It's like some no John, you are the monsters type situations going on here.
It was a
But yeah, I appreciate the game's commitment to making a story, but the dialogue sometimes gets a little cheesy, like that ashes to ashes, dust to dust kind of stuff. I mean, I already thought it was kind of cheesy that the main character is named Dust, but I think this will exit us to the world map. That is an autosave point, an autosave junction. Autoshave junction, that'd be awesome. Save me a lot of time in the mornings. But anyway, I think this takes us back to the world map, and that is going to do it for Let's Look at Dust, an Elysian Tale. I don't want to watch the cutscene. Auto advance. Oh, that's not going to do it. But in any case, as always, thank you guys for watching. I would definitely, this is going to be $15, I believe. And if you're kind of starved for like a 2D action combat RPG, Metroidvania, cave story, La Mulana-esque, well, maybe less La Mulana because it's not so much about exploration and dying constantly. But yeah, this is definitely a game that is worthwhile. It looks like it's going to be about 6-7 hours long, which is, probably better than par for the course when it comes to, $15 downloadable games. And definitely this is a remarkable triumph for a one-man game. There's parts of the game I don't really like. Visual style and narrative is not necessarily my style, to put it kindly, but the gameplay is definitely solid, and the combat is fluid and lots of fun. So, there you have it. That's Dust and Elysian Tale. As always, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time.